For the base of the scope, let's just begin with a cube. I'll press Shift A and let's create a cube. Here, let's just go to the side view and take that and scale it down and get it in place on this base object here, right here. I'll scale it down to here, let's say, and maybe scale it out in the Y. Let's also tumble around and make sure it's the right width. It appears to be pretty close. Let's go right here. Now, if we take a look at this, it looks like my top part is a little too tall. So let me grab that face and bring it down. And what I want is this right here, like that. It looks like I can move it around a bit here. Let's see how close I can get it here. It looks like maybe I could grab this face and bring it up into this area right here, because we're going to need to insert edge loops here to bring that down. So I think that's probably pretty good. Let's go ahead and insert a couple of edge loops here. I'll scroll the mouse wheel and then click, and then I'll scale them out in the X so they're just the thickness we need for these things over here. I'll select these faces, extrude, and pull these straight down here. There we go. Now let's insert some edge loops to begin extruding up. So we're going to need edge loops that encompass this piece here. I'll scale them out in the X till they're about the right size, maybe right there. And let's select this face here. And it looks as if there's a little piece sticking out here. Let's go ahead and make sure we get that. So I'll extrude up to here, and then let's come back and maybe grab this and extrude it out in the Y, like that. So we have that little piece there. This piece right here, we could try and pick that up, I suppose. Let's bring up the face to about there. And here's where we need to insert two more edge loops right here. And we'll scale those out in the X. And now those are going to encompass that area. I'll also maybe insert an edge loop right in here, let's say. We need to extrude that face there. But then we also need to extrude these faces back here. So maybe this one and this one. Let me tab into, or hit the Z key, I should say. And maybe we need this one. And I think we need the ones back here as well. So I'll grab these three right back here. And that'll allow us to extrude up with the basic shape of this here. So let's hit E and Z and extrude up like this to maybe here. And while we're here, let's insert an edge loop here. And I want to just pop this little thing out right here. Just move that out a hair like that, just to catch that piece of geometry there that's kind of sticking out over the edge. All right, so I need to see these faces a little better. So it turns out this piece ended up on layer 2. Let me just move that to layer 3. And I'll go to layer 3, and now I'll be able to see these faces a little better to select them. So I'll grab those here and here. And then let's go back to the side view. I'll bring back layer 2 by pressing Shift 2. I'll then go to the wireframe view, and I'm just going to extrude and pull this straight up for now. And then I think I'll slide it in the Y just a bit like that. And it looks like we're going to need these over here to come back as well. So I'm just going to delete these faces on top since they're going to be hidden. I'll hit X and faces, and then I'll go to vertex mode and border select these points over here and just bring them back so they're in line with this piece right there. All right, so there we have the basic outline of that piece there. We now need to figure out how to simulate this wire loop around the base here. So I think what we can do is insert an extra edge loop and then extrude out. But I think what we'll do is this edge right here, let me go just to layer 3. This edge right here should probably angle down in the back like that wire loop does. So let's press Shift 2 to bring that back. And now I can rotate this and maybe move it down a bit and kind of get it in alignment with this piece here. There we go. Now I'll insert an edge loop here as well. So this right here. And then we ought to go ahead and rotate this just a bit as well. I'll bring these points back just a bit. There we go. Now if we take a look at that, just on layer 3, we've got a loop of faces that will allow us to extrude out and kind of mimic the geometry of that wire loop. So let's go ahead and hit E, and I'll go ahead and click, and then I'm going to press S, Shift Z, and scale out in the X and the Y just a bit. Looks like I need a little more in the X here. Something like that. So I'll just grab this edge here and this edge here and move them forward and maybe out just a bit. So they kind of mimic the curvature of that. Let's take a look at it with the high-res version. It looks like maybe I could take this face here and pull it back just a bit. And it looks like maybe I could take this edge and this edge here and scale these out in the X just to try and encompass that piece just a little bit better. Maybe pull this face out a little. All right, so there's our scope. We can smooth this here. And now we've gone down to 600 faces from about 123,000. So once again, not too bad. Let's go ahead and move this to the layer with the other one. I'll hit M and I'll click right down here. And here they are right here. So there are retopologized pieces so far. So in the next video, what let's do is let's go over retopologizing this main piece here. It's got a lot of detail on it that we want to be sure and pick up, but we also want to reduce the poly count quite a bit. So before the next video, I will go ahead and do some simpler pieces like the hand grip, the magazine here, the legs, the muzzle and the front pieces of the gun here. I'll go ahead and do those in the same way we just did the last two pieces. And then we'll take a look at retopologizing this main piece. So that's coming up next.